SEC teams with back-to-back 10-win seasons: Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, and Mizzou. SEC teams with back-to-back 10-win seasons not included in the preseason top 25: Mizzou. Hello everyone, it is again Season coming at you with another video, and before we get into the video, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me out an absolute ton, but without further ado, let's get on with the video. So as you can probably tell by the start of today's video, we are going to be talking about the Missouri Tigers. Led by Coach Eli Drinkwitz, the Tigers are looking to continue on quite a bit of momentum, especially the last 2 years, finishing with more than 10 wins on both occasions. So starting off, looking at some of the key losses for Missouri: quarterback Brady Cook, wide receivers Theo Weiss and Luther Burden III, and offensive lineman Armand Membu. As for its big gets in the transfer portal, Missouri added running back Ahmad Hardy, wide receiver Kevin Coleman, and quarterback Bo Pribula. All of these players look to replace holes in the offense that were lost last year and increase production for Missouri offensively. Coach Eli Drinkwitz took Missouri from a very unstable spot in the SEC after some early success under Gary Pinkel, and have led them back to being very respectable and quite possibly the most underrated team in the SEC. And as a Missouri fan myself, my biggest gripe is not that we're not ranked, it's the disrespect that's being shown to us by not being ranked. Missouri is constantly overlooked due to not geographically fitting the SEC, and less historical success than some other programs within the SEC. Missouri's never fully been appreciated and welcomed in by most SEC fan bases. Now I will cut it out and give some credit to Alabama and Georgia fans. They always seem to be the most consistently saying Missouri's actually built a pretty good team. But it just feels flat out disrespectful that Missouri starts the season off unranked despite all of their success the last 2 seasons. And I get it, I already know I'm going to get a comment from a salty Tennessee or Oklahoma fan, or maybe even an Arkansas fan. The schedule hasn't been the toughest the last couple of years. Missouri won the SEC East in some down years in the East, but it still takes a lot to win the SEC East, and the SEC is a whole different beast than the Big 10, Big 12, and other conferences. The most average teams in the SEC would be consistently competing to win the Big 12. And despite all of the success over the last few seasons and momentum being shown by Coach Eli Drinkwitz and the Tigers, they start off the season unranked. This just does not make any sense to me by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, there were some key departures and this leaves some open spots, but if you actually look at the Tigers team coming in, they are primed to have a very, very exciting team, and they have a lot of young players, or even juniors and seniors, filling in roles where they were not able to. Think of players like Marquise Johnson. The defense is primed to have a very solid season under second-year defensive coordinator Corey Batoon. The Tigers have so much potential, and ultimately it comes down to them not tripping over their own feet, kind of like the A&M game last year. But despite all of the success, Missouri starts the season unranked. And my problem with this is that it makes your season a little bit more difficult when you don't start ranked. Now I get it, the college football playoff rankings don't come out till later. That can all be corrected over time while we wait for the actual rankings that matter, which are the college football playoff rankings, to come out. But it just shows that Missouri still has not been given the respect that I think at this point they deserve. If you start the season ranked in the top 20, you can slip up a little bit early in the season, and you still have a little bit of grace later on if you slip up again and have a chance to argue to be in the college football playoff or at least a very good bowl game. When you start the season unranked, that just takes a little bit of the cushion away, and I just think at this point it is completely unfair if you look at the work that Coach Drinkwitz and his staff have done in recruiting, in the portal, in being revolutionaries in the NIL era, and their success on the field. Every step along the way, Missouri is consistently underestimated. Every step along the way, when Missouri finds success, they're underestimated, and there's always an excuse as to why they do not deserve to be celebrated for the success they're having. When they went to back-to-back SEC championship games, everyone complained that the reason that they were there was because the SEC East was down. When Missouri won the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State, people said Ohio State didn't even want to be there, and it was Missouri's Super Bowl. I'm hoping that with another solid season this year, which would make 3 really good seasons in a row, Missouri can cement themselves as a real threat in the SEC. And when you look at all of these stats, like Missouri having back-to-back 10-win seasons, the number of 10-win seasons they've had since joining the SEC, Missouri has been a very good SEC team deserving of being in the conference. There are teams in the conference that are significantly less deserving of being part of the SEC. And this has just been my little rant and talking about the 2025-2026 Missouri Tigers. I hope any Tigers fans watching this are as excited about the season as I am. There is so much untapped potential, and I am really hoping that the Tigers can bring a championship back to Columbia sooner rather than later. But this has been seasoned. That's all I have for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, check out my Twitch and Twitter, which will be linked below, and I will catch you soon with another video. See ya.